Hi everybody, welcome to our discussion on this Diploma ACCA IFRS examination. Friends, we are here to talk about the new examination format which has been announced by the ACCA starting for December 2019 examination and onward. Friends, we used to have a format earlier where we used to have 4 questions, the first question of 40 marks and the rest 3 questions of 20 marks each. This has now been changed by the ACCA to have the first question now of 25 marks and the other 3 questions also of 25 marks, right? So why this distinction when all the 4 questions are of 25 marks each? Instead of writing 4 questions in 25 marks, we are saying it's still 1 plus 3. The reason is that this topic is still consolidation, right? A mandatory question from consolidation of a lesser weightage than the earlier examination format of 40 marks. So is it a good thing or a bad thing? Well, let's try to kind of understand that even during this discussion. So when I say that I'm looking at my new format, ACCA realized, and I believe that it's a good thing that they realized a bit late though, that people are focusing too much on consolidation, which is to the extent of 40 marks. And interesting enough, it is not exactly 40 marks question, by the way, only from consolidation, right? That long question would have parts from other standards as well, okay? So whether we like it or not, we still used to do a working of around 20-25 marks or maybe 25 marks, of course, only on consolidation, and rest all would come from other standards, right? Of course, we can still talk about it like this, that the examination format, the question format, it's also a part of consolidation. So ideally speaking, the weightage of consolidation was around 30 marks, right? But the rest 10 marks were from other standards, okay? And I see as a trainer a bit of a challenge in that same approach, that people were, to my experience, were too much focused on a long question on consolidation. They would spend hours doing a consolidation question and would lesser focus on the other standards, right? So I think it's a good thing, I would say, for the participants, for the students, and for me as a trainer to have this new format coming in, wherein you are giving, apparently on the face of it, a bigger weightage to the other components of the standards, other standards for that matter, than consolidation, okay? Which means what? This is trimmed, lesser areas on other standards, but purely on consolidation. Of course, it doesn't really change. It still is a balance sheet or a P&L or SOCIE, but now the examination says also disposal of a subsidiary can be tested in your examination, okay? So be open to observe that part as well, right? So when I say I'm looking at these 25 marks question, of course, now you have lesser calculations involved as against the previous setup, and so lesser calculations, we want to write that, and more discussions, right? That is something which your examination wants you to do. Spend more time explaining the concepts, spend more time discussing the context, and try to apply that in your examination. That is where the focus lies, and I think it's a good part in itself, because now people are looking at it as a more balanced approach on the coverage. A lot of people would have been panicked while looking at such a long question there, but they overdo consolidation, I was trying to say before. Now I think it's somewhere straightforward. So from an examination standpoint, and also from the participant standpoint, those who are thinking of writing this examination, I think they would be happy to see this kind of a segregation. Of course, if you hate writing a lot, that is where you would kind of not really like this change yourself. But I think it's a relatively easier approach for participants at large. So one should be focusing on the other standards, try to write more answers, and see to it whether the answers make a lot of sense there or not, right? The best part about the examination is that you get a step marking, so that is something which you always want to remember. Whatever you're writing, if it's making some sense, the examiner gives you an award for that, right? But at the same time, you have to write precise. Don't write something which you know it too is stupid. Don't write that. It's not worth the effort. You're just losing time because of that, right? If you don't know the answer, it's okay to not attempt it, or write something logical about it than to write something which is nonsense on the face of it, right? So that's something which is on the examination format. What else can come to your mind when you look at the new format? What else to be having the takeaways? I would say read more on the standards. Look at the past papers. The new publications should be out by the respective publishers. Look at their answer formats, or even better, go for the ACCA's past examinations. Look at their answers, and they are just too precise, and they are good answers to make some sense out of those. Use them, read them, attempt those questions, compare your answers with those given by by the ACCA, for example, and see to it, does it make a sanity? Okay, so you should be really comfortable with that part of it as well. The final cake is we have 200 minutes as before to attempt this 100 marks paper. Pass score still remains 50%. Not a big deal to crack this examination. I would be feeling bad for somebody who does not clear this examination, which simply means somebody was never prepared to write this examination. I think it's an easy examination in itself, provided you have given sufficient time to read through the content. Very straightforward examination. It's fairly straightforward as compared to many other accounting papers around the world. So I find it straightforward, to be honest. But yes, there is an effort involved, and that effort needs to be quantified. The examination happens every 6 months. My call is that when you're registering for the examination, you still have a good amount of time to be ready for this examination. If you think you don't have time, better to delay the examination than to write it, because failing an examination is not something I would recommend here, considering the fact that it's a fairly straightforward examination by ACCA, for example, right? So that's it from my side, and do reach out to me while you are looking at this lecture if you have any questions around that. Happy to address your queries. Thank you very much. Good day and take care. Bye.